Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you let me know what's going on? I'd like to know. Steve, this evening I have been mostly watching Bayern Rob United. Kane hat-trick. Nailed on. Monster. And Casper, how you doing? You alright, mate? Whew. Hello, yes. Hello, Mandy. How you doing? You alright? Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Oh, do you know what? I didn't even look at that. I will have to check just to make sure because, as you can tell by my breathing heavily, I've been running around like an absolute dickhead looking after my daughter. Yeah, we're all done. Yeah, I told her I was streaming from 8 till 10, so she'd call me in plenty of time, but I have my little controller in my car. This thing, the knob holding this thing, that bit there on the side, that's the controller, that's the mini pad. The batteries are running out, so it doesn't get illuminated. And even though I know where everything is just by touch, really for safety they should be illuminated, so that's not good. Right, just check on Twitch to make sure Twitch is there. Yes, I know when it is, for fuck's sake. I am he. I might not be the Eggman, but I am he. Just play with you, dickhead. Right. Well, yeah, that appears to be working. Good, it's nice to hear that, Casper. Nice to hear that, mate. Yeah, I'll get my breath back in a minute. And just spin it round so I don't swill myself with it, like. Oh, yes. That is still face-meltingly hot. I don't need to borrow Kirsty's charger. I have 2 batteries. As soon as I got given that particular controller, I went out and bought 2 batteries for it. Which means that now, as soon as I put these one in, I will have to buy another 2, well, another 4, I think. Just to make sure that I have them, because I can't drive without them. I'm not allowed to, actually. It's on my licence. I have to have an automatic, and I have to have a ball spinner, and I have to have the controller. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to. Saf, how you doing, mate? You alright? 2 places at once. Good. Nice to hear it. Yep, Twitch is working fine. I've 2 conversations at once. That's what we like to see. And definitely showing up on the screen as well there. So Botrix is working wonders. That's what we like to see. That is what we like to see. Good stuff. Yeah, the flask, I made sure I made another one, and I did it my way. I made it about 6:30, thinking it'll cool down a little bit by that point if I leave the thing open at the top. No, not at all. Still ridiculously hot. I had a shower for you as well. I had a pre-gig shower just to make sure I'm fresh and minty. Literally fresh and minty fresh. Yep. Bit of Sinatra. I was thinking more along the lines of the Sid Vicious version, to be honest with you. From the Great Rock and Roll Swindle, Sex Pistols. I like that version. Can't say I'm a fan of Sinatra, although he did have a very, very interesting life, didn't he? Has to be said. Very, very interesting life. Well, according to Twitch, I'm live and also excellent. I don't know if that means the stream quality or the stream quality. I think it's probably the stream quality, not the stream quality. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I've been running around for some strange reason today. And I thought I wouldn't be, but I have been. You can do 2 places at once, but you don't in case you send the wrong message to the wrong place. Very wise. Very, very wise indeed. Not sure I'll get any views from any other place apart from Twitch, but even that, I think you need 50 viewers, don't you? Or 50 followers, and I've got 2 so far. I have to start absolutely hammering the self-promotion on Twitter and other places. Twitter and Blue Sky and what have you. But we'll get there eventually. And start making some Dwayne Eddies. Save me having to put my hand in my pocket all the time. Not that I care. I'm spending money that I would have spent on wine, so I'm getting the benefit of it, aren't I? Cameras and lights and things. Yes, just stop sending me stuff. I know. I made the mistake of following YouTube creators on Twitter as well, and they are the most single, cringy account. It's absolutely awful. Some of the stuff they come out with. I know where Jack from Jack's Film was doing a piss take of it the other day, just reading out their tweets, and they were awful. And I keep getting reminders from them. If you could collaborate with one YouTube creator, who would it be? Not arse, mate. What's the point? Yep, Sinatra. Like a baby's arm hanging out of a pram. Boys' toys. Well, they're not really boys' toys, because there's lots of girly women's who are also on Twitter, on YouTube as well, and they use lots of expensive stuff. So I think it's just gadget fiends' toys, not just boys. In fact, most of the people that I watch to get advice on gear for the streams or what have you tend to be women. Very, very, they're very good at what they do, and they're not as arrogant as the fellas are. So, good place to learn stuff off the lovely ladies. Luria Petrucci, in particular, is really good at that. Although someone must have told her that she looks good looking up to the corner. Got big eyes, so she seems to do it all the time. And I don't know why I'm starting to pick up on people's body language and what have you, but it must be just being on YouTube has got me looking at people going, why are you doing that? There must be a reason behind it. Why are you doing it? Yeah. Strange day today, though. I don't feel I've done anything at all. I just don't feel I've managed to get going, even though I've been doing bits and pieces. It's so weird. When am I wearing a Santa hat? Red and white? Fuck right off. Not a chance. Not even FC20 red or Middlesbrough red or Wrexham red. Not happening. Although we do have the Santa Dash, don't we, in Liverpool? And because we're so bitter, half of the Santas are in blue and white, and it started off as a bit of a piss take, but I think now it actually shows a bit of solidarity rather than annoyance. So I might pick up a blue and white one. But apart from that, I'm not getting into the Christmas vibe because it's just bullshit, man. I've got lights all year round and trees, well, fake bushes, but I don't need to get into this rubbish. But I will go for a walk. That's what I'm meant to do today. I will go for a walk because there are people with lights up, and me daughter's next door neighbours, they've got a tree in the garden which looks a bit monkey puzzlish, so it looks a bit like a Christmas tree, and it's quite big, and they were out today putting huge football-sized baubles on it. So I need to go past there tomorrow and see whether they've completely covered it. It wasn't lit up tonight. I'm hoping it might get lit up. Only asked. Yeah, well, I only replied, Mandy. I only replied. That's all it was. Were the Cape Town City FC colours blue and gold? Oh, I like that. That's a nice combination. Have I done my exercises? I haven't today. We're on Tuesday, aren't we? I think it's Wednesday. I'll have my whiteboard somewhere with my little coloured buttons on it. Been trying to do, in my mind, I'm going to do Wednesday, Friday. going to try and leave a day in between with the hand stuff anyway, and I'll try and do a walk every day if I can do. But if I try and do them every day, I end up getting absolutely exhausted. Plus, if I'm feeling tired, I'm just not going to do them at all anyway, because I know how bad I can feel if I'm really tired, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to make sure I do some. But I think tomorrow I might do the counters. I might even record some of it to show you what I actually do. But I'll have a good think about that. Bit of both, yeah. Caps lock and shouting. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Shows that you're getting to the point fast. Right. So I wondered if Botrix is playing game and will just send out Jeff's messages later on at the same time to both platforms, or will it start acting a maggot like I did last week? Send him one early. We don't know these things. It's warm as well, isn't it? I went out in the car earlier and checked, and it was 10 degrees Celsius. 10 Celsius. Double figures, which is not really very well known at this time of year. 10 stupid. 10 is definitely shorts weather. Mind you, minus 15 shorts weather if you're a postman, isn't it? Now that the exercise question is out of the way, where is Jeff? He is hanging around somewhere. He is definitely hanging around. He always is hanging around somewhere. It is warm. 10 degrees is warm. The only thing that makes it feel cold is if it's raining, or if there's a really windy, horrible day like it was the other day where it felt cold even though it wasn't. As soon as you get into the lee, it's nice. Plus, I do feel warm in here, although I've said before, I am wearing a fleece hoodie and a hat, and there's a light on me, a massive light on me. The local club, Sundrieske, have both a football team and a hockey team. Not at the same time, I hope. Jeff is everywhere. Jeff is all things to all men, and quite a few ladies too. As Mandy will tell you. Cheekbones Jeff seems to go down quite well, so to speak. It's going to be 10 degrees C with 9 at night here in a few days. 10 C's sound. When I was taking my niece to work, was it last week or the week before, it was minus 5. Now that is cold. You could still get away with wearing shorts in that, to be honest, but I wouldn't suggest it. And I never wore my coat once. I was wearing my big fleece Monsters Inc. hoodie, and that was more than enough. Yeah, very big temperature span in December there, I can imagine that. There's a few places like that, isn't there, where it's just, you don't know what's going to happen from day to day. You can literally be sweating your Davina McCalls off one day, and then ice baby the next. The football team is in the city of Haderslev, and the hockey team is in the city of Vojens. So there's that like them two places make up Sundrieske, or whatever it's pronounced. Fenerbahce and most of the Turkish teams have football teams, basketball, handball, yeah. Some of them do have e-sport teams. I know Barcelona are huge on that as well, aren't they, on having multiple things. They've got the Femini, the women's football team, basketball. I think they've got handball as well. I think I played handball a couple of times in the Netherlands. I always liked the goals because they looked like proper size goals for 5-a-side, and we used to use them occasionally. I wouldn't like to be a goalkeeper in handball. I can imagine you get some absolutely terrible balls. Literally. And we can't talk about Turkish football, can we? Without mentioning what happened yesterday. The chairman of the team come running onto the pitch and punched the referee, give him a black eye. And there's people kicking him in the face while he was on the floor. Horrific. Can't say I'm a fan of Turkey. I mean, I don't like Leeds United, but after what happened to Loftus and Spate, Kevin Loftus or Kevin Spate and the other one, sorry, I can't remember the names. It is Loftus and Spate. I know that the two lads who were killed over in Istanbul. You know, English fans got banned. Everton, we got our chance to win the European Cup taken away from us for something we didn't do, because it was called the English disease, apparently, back in the 80s. We stopped doing it, and we've been fine ever since. And then you look around the rest of Europe, Netherlands, Germany, France, and then the likes of Turkey, and there's trouble all the time, and nothing ever gets done to them. Stupid. The night between New Year's Eve and January the 1st, it was 12.6 degrees Celsius, and broke the record. That is fairly warm, that, isn't it, for a New Year's Eve anywhere, to be honest. You're never more than a marathon from the coast. Nice to know. Not that I want to run a marathon anywhere. Yeah, the slap and the kick, it was stupid. And the poor level of refereeing in South Africa, something like that will happen there soon. But you just want to watch the Premier League for how bad refereeing can be. Absolutely corrupt. I've got my little sign there, but I've got loads of shit on it, so I'll have to stay where it is. Goedenavond, hallo ik. How are you alright? Sorry, hoe gaat het? Alles goed? I've got me thing open here. Mrs. My Twitch dashboard. It seems to be that there's less delay with Twitch than there is with Facebook, YouTube. Gee, what's wrong with me at the moment? Yeah, strange, very strange. In Eindhoven, it was 16 Celsius last year, New Year's Eve at midnight. That is insane. Legolas messed up his leg again a few days ago. How's he doing? Is he soldiering on like soldiering on like most dogs do, don't they? But poor sod, not good. That needs to be fine. Needs to be all right. Needs to be chilled out. Yep. Call me Lime Street Station. Too many platforms, man. Oh. Dad joke. 10 p.m. at 19 degrees, that's ridiculous. You had a promising lad about 10 years ago to play football at Pro Club level. Struck by lightning on the pitch and lost a leg. I remember someone in the Netherlands got hit. I think my dad was playing. They were playing at one stadium and then another stadium about 10 miles down the road or something really close. Someone was playing there as well. The referee in my dad's game said, we're not playing. There's too much lightning around us. It's too dangerous. And they took them off the field and the game was abandoned. In the other game, poor lad got hit and killed. And I can't remember whose it was. His dad was a former Dutch international as well. Yep, I got the dad joke alert fixed. I sorted that today. That, of course, is the Gladys Street end of Goodison, Everton. So I felt I could use that. And if anyone's wondering what that was the Dominic Calvert-Lewin header against Crystal Palace to make it 3-2. And when the game finished, the entire stadium was on the pitch having a party. Under the days of Frankie Lampard. Before Stone Cold Sean Dyche came in, rather. Yeah, 10 p.m, the sun would still be up there in June. Same here. You can get to 11:30 at night and it still looks like daytime. That's how far north we are. It's stupid. In the 90s, there was a game there where the lightning struck and hit 4 players. I think I've seen one. I'm sure. I was pretty sure it was somewhere in Africa. You could just see people hitting the deck all over the place. It's crazy. You don't mess around with that lightning stuff. As someone, I can't remember who it was who said it. You can't see it, you can't hear it, and you can't smell it, but it will find you. Electricity, definitely. Right, so the X-rays show no new fractures, but he can't bear his paw touching anything, not even the ground when he's laying down. Oh, poor sod. Well, at least it's not broken or not fractured, but there's obviously something not right there. Poor Lego man. Let's hope it's a quick recovery for him. Yeah, tropical night. It's definitely a tropical night when it doesn't drop below 20 degrees. 9 degrees. I had a week the same here. It was 10 when I got out in the car. I think it's down to 9 now. Also, I'm not sure if it's tonight or tomorrow night. If you're anywhere in I would say the northern hemisphere especially, if you have a look outside, you should be able to see lots of meteors. Is it 150 an hour or something? And all in different colours. So it could be like watching Star Wars with all these things going off, different colours. The Geminids, I think it is, from the Gemini cluster, lots of meteors. Worth looking outside if you can after midnight, which I'm not sure I will do because I've still got to fix me shizzle. Do you want to see me knob? Yeah, lots of morphine needed. -4, Denmark, jeez. Cold return for 3 nights and then back to 6 and 10s the day after. Nice. Oh, it's tomorrow, is it? Right, so I'll make sure my batteries are in place for that one because I don't want to be going out without them. Not the player. No, it's not the Pleiades. It's the Geminids. I think these ones are, if I remember rightly. There's about 4 or 5 different meteor showers during the year, isn't there? December's always good for a few, which is great because the skies are pretty clear most of the time. But also when the skies are clear, it normally means it's really cold. I should have got the dad joke alert, but I'm trying to ease that one in slowly. Don't want to go off half-cocked, do we? So to speak. Yeah, the Geminids. There was a reel about it. One of them Instagram reels that showed you where to look in the sky. So for the next couple of days at least, look up and see if you can see anything. That's if you're somewhere where it's fairly dark. 7 comets an hour, with most being 19 per hour, around 4:45. Right. Not a chance. I'll be out there at 4:45 in the morning. Not a chance. Not even for fantastic photos. I'm afraid once my eyes closed and I finally get to sleep, that's it. I'm there until my bladder wakes me up. Mind me, my bladder wakes me up about 5 o'clock in the morning, so I could, in theory, open the back door and have a quick scoot out and have a look, see what's going on. So you never know. I might find some decent pics, but I'm certainly not going to go out and drive somewhere. Don't think we've got many dark skies around here anyway, but there are some a little bit further out that might be a bit darker than the rest of the town. Yep, too much light pollution. Although the town that I live in is not a huge town, and if you can just get a couple of miles in that direction, where all the sort of farmyards are, might be just quiet enough and just clear enough to be able to see some stuff. Hopefully, you never know. Saying that, the light pollution, I'm torn when it comes to light pollution. I'd like it to be less because obviously we need to be able to see the night sky. But I love light, as you can see. I love pissing around with lights. I like them all. My bedroom of a night is absolutely full of lights, different colours. So I'm going round Ainsdale and Birkdale villages. It's lovely. All the trees have lights on them. Gorgeous. But it does create more and more light pollution, which ain't good. Yeah, hopefully you'll be asleep at that point. You never know. I have not got a sunroof. Unfortunately, every car I've had so far, apart from the first one I bought, have all had sunroofs, I think. Or have they? No, actually, no. My last one didn't. I'm talking absolute shite here. My last one didn't either. But yeah, we could have put that under the roof and press play. No, it wasn't an option that was taken by the person who bought this car. And one less thing to go wrong, to be honest with you. I had a Nissan Primera a few years ago, boss little car, and it was forever getting damp in there. I found out it was the drain plugs from the sunroof, and the way I fixed it, being a genius that I am, by using Google and YouTube, was to get bike brake cable. It's a long cable but thin, and in the end of it there's like a little ball which you hold onto, and the brake line holds onto, rather, the brake squeezy thing holds onto. That went down the gaps, little drain holes, emptied them out perfect, got rid of all the shite, which was fantastic. But now, no sunroof, but I've got nice air conditioning, which doesn't work. Not that I need it to, because it's too cold. Yeah, if it's raining there now, it's a good guess to think there might be clouds there, which means you might not see much, but it will stay warm. If there's clouds around, it's warm. Clouds and rain, much nicer. And the fact that they call it a blanket of cloud is absolutely 100% right, because it acts like a blanket. Really does, keeps all the heat in. Which is why your freezing cold nights are the ones where there's no clouds whatsoever. Yep, 9 degrees Celsius, of course. 8:42 before the sunrise there tomorrow. It is getting mad, isn't it? I mean, it's really noticeable if you go out at the same time every day, just how much dark it is. Only takes a few days, and that's it. All of a sudden it's pitch black of a morning. Where are we? Come on. See more details. Woensdag. That doesn't tell us, does it? Obviously. Why doesn't it tell us? Oh yeah, it does, sorry. Looking in the wrong place. Sunrise for us tomorrow, it is 8:20 in the morning. And sunset at 3:51. And it will rain, obviously, but only a little bit. That makes a huge change, that. It's only pissing down at the moment. The clouds that cover Table Mountain are called a tablecloth, and it does look like that, I can imagine. But that looks absolutely fantastic. Earliest sunset's the 14th, the shortest day is the 22nd this year. 28th is the latest sunrise. Yep. I think for us, shortest day is still the 21st, just because of where we are. What was it called before it was called Table Mountain? Occasional Table Mountain? Has it got an indigenous name? Is it called Tafelberg as well? Never seen that before, and never even thought about whether it was called that. Tafelberg. It does get confusing now for someone of my advancing age, when things like Ayers Rock is now Uluru, and Snowdon is Ururi, is it? Urura. It is Tafelberg. Jeez. I'm getting there, aren't I? Oh, what did I have the other day on Duolingo? It was some strange, absolutely bizarre. I can't even think what it was, but it was another very odd. That was it. I am a banana. I speak English. What? Which I know it's fantastic if you need to learn how to put words together, but Irwitva. Am I saying that right? Irwitva. Tafelbjerget in Danish. Tafel, table, berg, berg. You can see exactly where these come from, can't you? I'm still convinced Welsh is not actually a language. Just hate the English that much that they're all in on it as a joke, just to see how long they can keep it going, and we fell for it completely. Alright, so the range, Snowdonia rather, is Aruri, and it's Irwitva. I think that's right, isn't it? They're still digging up fossils and still coming up with new hominid species that were here. Africa's crazy, man. I mean, everywhere's crazy on the planet. There's something there because there's been life all over the planet for hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, but Africa really is mad. It's where we're all from. All human life came from Africa. So when you get dickheads like Nigel Farage being obviously a very, very popular English nickname, English surname, saying that send the buggers back and then keep England for the English. Do you know we all come from Africa? We've all got black bones, man. And if you keep yourself to yourself, you end up with the Habsburg jaw. You end up inbreeding and as thick as shit, which is obviously would explain the likes of Nigel Farage and the people that we see with the British bulldog tattooed on them, throwing plastic furniture across European and town squares during football tournaments. Absolute dickbags. Yeah, you can't imagine the Africans would be happy with us moving back. Especially not as the second we get there. This is simply not good enough. Tarmac that. Put them all there. That thing with the long neck, get that out of the way. We don't need any of them. F is V and FF is F. Think of and off, right? Which is weird because obviously in Dutch V is F as well, so it's starting confusing me broken brain here. Yeah. So obviously it's Cardiff, not Cardiff. If the Africans move to Europe, there's enough space for Europeans. There is, because it's absolutely massive, isn't it, as well? Absolutely, thoroughly huge. Would be no good, though. You imagine someone from northern Finland trying to live in sub-equatorial Africa, they melt. Absolutely melt into a puddle. Not good. We don't do heat very well in Northern Europe, do we? FF is used as a shorthand for even in Dutch, meaning for a bit. Am I right? Actually, it's Gardiet. Yep. And Abertawe as well, of course. Swansea. Aber being mouth. Which is why you've got Aberystwyth. Aberdeen in Scotland means the mouth of a river. That's where the settlement is. I love Wrexham as well. When written in Welsh, instead of being Wrexham, it is Wrecsam, Wrexham, which makes perfect sense and also means that we shouldn't have changed it. There's no need to change it. We can understand what it says full well just by looking at it. Phonetically, it makes sense. Why change it? So in Afrikaans, V is F, W is V, and F is F, yeah. Yeah, same in Enschede as well. And trying to explain to people, especially football commentators, about some of the nicknames. And Raphael van der Vaart is not pronounced Van der Vaart, but they wouldn't change that anyway. And I still can't get over the American pronunciation of Vincent van Gogh. I know they probably can't do the Van Gogh bit, but Van Gogh. Gee, where'd you get that from? I also don't like the fella who invented The Simpsons, Groening, which I would always look at as a Dutch name, as Groening, the Dutch version of greening. Where they get graining from, I'll never know. How on earth OE is pronounced grey. No English football commentator ever managed Cruyff. Nope. They struggle with a few people. Gullit as well. It just got pronounced Hullet when you realised it wasn't Gullet with a hard G. They really do struggle. Right, there's no letter C, only in the word crystalic, but it's pronounced as a guttural G. Right. We have a city that translates to dandruff. Crazy. Scalescur. Bergkamp, yep. Which Berg, we found out, of course, is mountain. Camp is a field or area, doesn't it? Mountain field. Ed de Goy at Chelsea, yeah, or Ed de Goalie, as they called him. Before that, one of the first ones that we had in England, in English leagues, was Johnny Method, who again got called Method. The man who could hit a ball from a different postcode away. Crazy. Many silent G's and D's. There's too many silent letters in words. Although I do like them at times because you can really mess with people's heads when you're doing the alphabet for them. You say things, it's X for xylophone and P for pneumonia, G for gnat, all that stuff. Just seeing them absolutely off their heads. The name Anders is pronounced Annis, yeah. Veinguni. Remember the name, Veinguni. You think the Scottish and Scouse could pronounce the G and CH? We can, as can the Welsh, and I would think the Irish as well. Which is absolutely schitterend, like, know what I mean? And of course, if you're Dutch and you come over to Liverpool, you'll fit in very easy. Talking about chicken, like, know what I mean? Good. Yeah, Barnesy, how you doing, mate? You alright? K for knife, yeah. The phonetic alphabet, that was the one I couldn't think of just then. One of the people I dealt with, I don't know if I've said this before on this particular stream, he was struggling for money. So I asked him for his national insurance number, and he was like, A for apple, B for banana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C for cocaine! Where's my money? So I wonder why you need your money, mate. Anyway, he got his money, and then that was the last I heard from him. But, We're not there to judge, are we? Fem flere flødebøler per et sled flødebølefed. That's exactly what I was thinking, to be honest with you, Casper. Danish for knife is kniv. Danish for knife is net. Knigget. As they would say in Monty Python. 88 prachtige grachten. Yep, fantastic stuff. I love that. They thought I was going to struggle with that, and then all of a sudden it flew out, and they went, "Ooh, whoa! How do you manage to do that?" So you need to find out where I'm from to understand that. Know what I mean, like? We smachten naar 88 prachtige nachten bij 88 prachtige grachten. That we do. Yeah. Ooster and all that stuff. We had a mate who's from South Africa. He looked like Father Finton Stack from Father Ted. Absolute ringer for him, so we called him Father Finton Stack all the time that he was here. And he was trying to teach how to do that kind of stuff. What's the words he said? Mbosi and Nkoti. Imagine that, Sesame Street there. Today's number is number 23 and the letter what? But that's how language develops. It doesn't have to develop the same in everywhere. It's all down to where you're from and where you're at, man. Status, stacket, casket. That sounds like a really, really busy mortuary, that, doesn't it? Stative, stacket, casket. I love language. I really do. And I have to remember as well, I was in Cuba, and I can speak Spanish as well, a fair bit of Spanish as well, and I was talking to some of the Cubans. And I had to try and remember that they don't pronounce C as th. So it's just cerveza. No, that doesn't sound right. It's cerveza. But after a few cerveza, it suddenly became cerveza. Uncomboti is home-brewed beer, brown bed raisins, yeast and water, and off you go. That sounds like it'd be really heavy, that, like. Röde. Casper, are these actually Danish words, or are you following Kirsty's slidey thing at the moment? Yeah, do you differentiate between fear and fear? Good question. It's one of the good things as well about having people on the stream from different parts of the world. I know majority is sort of European based, but even in the small area that a lot of us come from, it's the languages are completely different, and also still there's lots of similarities as well. It's fantastic. I love that. Proper tongue twisters. They certainly are. Talked to a guy today who mentioned his friend from England and how he hates when he eats Marmite. Yeah, it's repulsive stuff. I know you either love it or you hate it, but nah, not for me. Like licking the bottom of a shoe. Not doing that. See, even the reason the rhyme agrees, Nick is right. That's when you know, actually tongue twisters are good when you realise you're doing alright at the language that you're trying to speak. If you're okay with the tongue twisters, you're learning it well. Which is why the likes of Scheveningen, schoenen, schaatsen, and things like that. When I was saying them in Netherlands, I was like, do you know what? I've got this. I can deal with this. I'm not really going to struggle too much. I struggled remembering it, obviously, but that's just because not having the opportunity to speak to anyone from there for a long time. But you can't really go back, can you? Can't worry about what happened in the past, so I will continue to keep on trying it on Duolingo. Eating Marmite's not compulsory. No. You like it though. I can't be doing with it, and also because I had them stupid Twiglet things on someone's birthday in the Netherlands, and I was sick as a dog afterwards, and I don't know if it was them or not that caused it, but as soon as I smell the stuff, I automatically start feeling sick now. Just one of those memories that's stuck there forevermore. It is a punishment. But if you like it, you like it. And I quite like my savoury stuff, but nah, not that. My Dutch is great, hardly an accent. Um, I like the Dutch accent. When Dutch people speak English, I think it's lovely. It's got a nice little lilt and ring to it. I like that. Yeah, Marmite from the UK and Vegemite from Australia, and there's been wars fought over that in boardrooms, trade wars about which is better, Marmite or Vegemite. You always got a jar in the cupboard. Fair play to you. Yep, stepdads. We'll leave it at there. My Dutch used to be a lot better. That's the annoying part. It was completely fluent to the point where people didn't realise that I was from England. Apart from the fact I had a surname that was the same as the crazy Englishman who played for FC Twente at the time. Use those thin sheets of chocolate you put on bread. Chocolate on bread, man. And again, that's something that they used to do in the Netherlands with hagelslag. And nah, couldn't be doing with that. Bad idea. Yeah, my English accent is absolutely awful, as anyone in England would tell you. That's probably an unpopular opinion, but when people speak English with an accent, you appreciate it more than no accent. So do I. It's the way it should be. Received pronunciation can get to absolute fook. Apparently, Timothy Chalamet thinks the whole accent is sexy. No. Don't go. Fuck's sake, what an absolute... The only good thing about Hull is the M62 that goes to Liverpool. And the smells. Getting off the ferry 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, freezing cold, dark, the smell of diesel, and then the sounds of Christmas music on the radio. Brilliant. That's because I don't have an English accent when speaking Dutch. That's probably because I was just taught in Twente, so I ended up with a bit of a Twente accent to begin with, which I think even that's died off. Hagelslag met pindakaas on bread. It's just called lunch here. Yeah. Pinda being peanut and kaas being cheese. I did like some stuff over there though, which doesn't really translate over here. One of which was flour, which is cold custard. That was in a milk bottle. The milkman used to deliver it every morning. Milk, flour, and crates of grolsch, which my dad loved. But yeah, cold custard is fantastic. The only thing you know about Hull is the comedian Lucy Beaumont is from Hull. Hull is with a capital apostrophe. There's no H in Hull. And John Cooper Clarke has never been there. We don't have flour in the UK. We do have custard, but it's always served warm. And it's not quite the same. It's got a different taste to it. Dutch flour was absolutely fantastic. I love that. Things that stick in your mind. Flour and spa water, red or green. Or was it red, green, or blue? Like a custard tart. Are we talking about Lucy Beaumont? No, right. You'll take a picture and put it in the RDA, the chocolate thing. Make sure you do. Pilega chocolate. Uh, Warm flour. Warm custard is gorgeous. And especially, it's good if you have a difference in temperature and in sort of consistency. So one of the things that my mum likes to do occasionally is have warm cherry pie with ice cream on it. So you get something that's got like it's got sugar on the top that's been baked, so it's a little bit crunchy, and then the ice cream melting on top of that, so you get cold and hot and crunchy and smooth and all at the same time. Well, warm custard as well on like Arctic rolls out the freezer, so you get warm and cold on that as well. Really, really nice. Flour, it is custard, isn't it? But I think it's got a bit of a taste to it, which is slightly different to like bird's custard or something that we get over here. Yes, Barnsey, are you on Instagram yet? No, not yet. Get on it. Yep, flour is sweet and thicker. Half time 0-0. Cheers, Steve. You're not sure what custard is? Custard is flour. It's the same stuff, but there must be something in the way they make it that it just tastes a little bit. It's better. The Dutch flour is better than the English custard. It might just because it's cold, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Plus, you adapt to where you live as well. So all the things you probably look at and think, "I'm not having that." When you're living there, yeah, I'm having that. I'm definitely having that. Satay με pinda sauce, which is fantastic. Apart from the fact that my mum has a peanut allergy, so whenever I used to get it, I'd have to make sure that even now when I get it, I have to make sure I throw everything away myself and I wash up. She's not allowed anywhere near it. Instagram's horrible. It's not bad actually. Instagram, just you got to remember at times when to switch it off and when to engage with it, because otherwise it can be a bit too much. I'm sick of seeing the same people on there as well. If you have a look on the search page, it just seems to be a plethora. It used to be food, people's dinners, and now it's scantily clad women with pneumatic lips and shiny faces. No, show me the food, man. Baird made custard as a present to his wife, but she ended up being allergic to eggs, yes, which is why he ended up making his Baird's custard without egg in it at all. Just to make sure she could have it, which is fantastic. It's the kind of thing that we're doing nowadays. Satay sauce with the patat is the best, or friet, depending on where you live in the Netherlands. I've still not had that. I still haven't had it. And I've not had patat oorlog either. War chips. Did you add in? I must admit, Steve, I've got the notifications on mute when it comes to the RDA, because it's just, if you get a really busy day on there, your phone would melt. No. Patat is where I was brought up as a youth, as a young. It was patat, so I'm sticking with that. Patat's patat, and that is that. Plus, friet is Belgian. And we used to call them patatators, even though they call it friet, which is bizarre. There you go. No, Tuscan. Aardappel and patat. Can you guess what they are? Aardappel would be like an aardappel, which is a potato. Patat would be chips. Frieten is Flemish. Friet is Dutch. Yeah, right. So where did patat come from, and why was the whole of Overijssel calling it that? Yep, aardappel, earthappel, pomme de terre. Exactly the same word, but completely different. Typing left-handed again. Steve, I'll just have a look at that for you now, mate. I don't think I deleted me messages, so you should still be on there. Instagram user no longer exists. Yep. You have definitely deleted. Steve has left the building. I've just checked, mate. It's fine, away. Potato, sweet potato there, right? I don't like sweet potato. I don't know why. Might be the first time I had it was fucking awful. Dracula sleeping on your arm. That sounds like a Jeff kind of thing, that, with a dragon on his arm. Never get over the boiling potatoes you bought in Sweden. I just said cock potatoes. Love spuds. No worries there, mate. Sweet potato in Danish is søde kartofler. Normal potatoes are kartofler. Potato in German being Kartoffel as well, of course. So, again, all these languages are combined. Sweet potatoes, zoete aardappel. Yeah. Zoete, I always remember being followed by drop in Nederland. Zoete drop. Imagine having de Kock as a last name and travelling to an English-speaking country. Well, in the football in Euro 96, they showed you the midfield, the dream midfield. And it was, or sort of a dream midfield, which was de Kock, Davor Suker, Uwe Fuchs, and Stefan Kuntz. So the midfielder was de Kock, Suker, Fuchs, Kuntz. Which again, apologise to YouTube if you're listening. Kuntz is an actual footballer's name, right? Well, yeah, that was a fantastic midfield. Yeah, Quinton de Kock, he's a very, very good cricketer. Wicketkeeper as well, isn't he? Good player, him. Salmiak and Zout drop is better. I don't like salty licorice. Could never get into it at all. Definitely not my scene, man. I think I'm one of those where sweets should be sweet. They shouldn't be painful. And they shouldn't taste like your first night in prison either. Just saying. Yeah. It does sound painful, doesn't it? Having a quint on it. Especially if the quint is a bit... I've actually used quints. No, not quints, quoits, aren't they? Right, it's completely different. Squinting me... Quinton de Kock. What? Squinting me what? What are you saying? Yeah. There's a footballer named Massapust. Very close to the very brutal South African swear word. YouTube doesn't recognise pust as a bad word. Ah, right. Right, got it. Strange, isn't it? Prison doesn't taste like licorice. Depends on who you share a cell with, I think, Casper. Especially salty licorice. But then I've never been in, so I'll have to take your word for it, mate. I don't want to go in there. I don't think it would suit me. I think I'm too tall to wear arrows pointing everywhere. Mad YouTube, isn't it? Again, I think there's a few places like that. Twitter was the same. You need to remind these people that these are global platforms, not just American. And for some strange reason, there's loads of people on there from the States who seem to think that the First Amendment covers the entire world, and it doesn't. You know, that's just your country. When you get out of that country, things are different. And what you find offensive, not the rest of the world does. The C word, for example, when used in large parts of the UK and certainly Australia, can be used as a term of endearment. It's never seen as something dodgy. It's not really seen as a bad word most of the time. And yet if you say it in the States, people have fainting attacks. But you can't just ban stuff off Twitter just because one country in the world doesn't like it. I thought you were good about free speech anyway. That's Musk, isn't it, being a dick? Some people get mad if you don't speak English on YouTube. Yep. Some people also are surprised just how well we speak English from England, which always comes as a surprise to me. Where did you learn to speak English? Fucking England, you half-wit. You are Casper, and the other guy in there was called Casper. Called Little Casper, as he was 2 meters 9. Yep. Always the best way to do it. Anyone get any Monster Munch? Flaming hot, obviously, Jeff. Oh, flaming hot Monster Munch. Yeah, not it's in the name or something. Yeah, the Aussie who used it as a term of endearment, they do. And we do as well. It's not seen as being that bad, and yet really there are places in the world who, when they hear it, start crossing themselves and all kinds. Just a fucking word, man. Don't, just chill. Your name on site used to be Slim. We had a fella that used to come in the pub. His surname was Grey, and he had grey hair, so his nickname obviously was Ginge, and he's been called that for years. Obviously, we're never going to call him Grey E or something. We had an Irish fella called Taff. I just made sure we give people stupid nicknames. I've also got a mate whose dad is Indian and his mum is Irish. And his surname's Singh, so his nickname is Garupta, the Indian karaoke star. Yeah, we do it proper, we certainly do, Barnsey. And what was that one I seen today? Some fella, his mate's in the army, and one of his squad mates is Indian, and his nickname is Gandhi McNabb. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Most of YouTube's views are from Spanish-speaking countries. Yep, they are, because if you take away Brazil and parts of Patagonia and little bits of Argentina that speak German, the huge, overwhelming majority of South America is Spanish-speaking. That's a huge amount of people. Monster Munch it's a type of corn-based, not crisp, but a snack, crispy type snack. It really nice as well. Proper kids eat them. Kids over here always, whenever you go to a bus stop and it's school are leaving, people are leaving school, there's always someone eating pickled onion Monster Munch. You know what I mean? Yeah, every time English says cut, you think something of it. Yeah. It's funny, we had Dutch friends come over, and every hairdressers in the UK seems to have a pun as the name. So it was like cut and curl and things like that, and quick cut. And I think our Dutch mate Mando went, oh yeah, I'm going to go in there and see what I can get. No, it's a barber's, mate, you're not going to get what you think it is. A girl in prison was called Cutthroat as she killed a stalker. Jesus. Fair play. Not arguing with her, are you? Huge amounts of scientific studies are in Spanish, yeah. That alone would be a good reason to learn Spanish. And to be fair, Spain's just down the road from us, from the UK and from Nederland, and it's a great place to go. Really easy to get to, easy to go and stay there for a while because they all speak good English. But if you can learn a bit of Spanish, to look after you. They always react to pickled onion. Never beef or flaming hot. Germans are back on the pitch. They think it's all over. It isn't yet. Alright, Steve, enjoy, mate. Let us know how they get on. Yeah, like some people think they can get a coffee in a coffee shop. What are you thinking? What are they thinking? Monster Munch aren't as good now they're healthy. None of them are they, stuff like that. If they were just left alone when they were tasty. Although I still like them. The flaming hot ones as well. Although there's nothing flaming hot about them, they're just tangy. She only stabbed him once, but hit him in the heart. He was hiding in her home for her. She basically got 8 years for defending herself. Man, that's ridiculous. I mean, obviously you can't just go around icing people, but well, you'd probably get a coffee, but caffeine wouldn't be the main ingredient. Now, I like watching Adam's videos about his coffee, the coffee culture and that, but I do find going into coffee shops to be frustrating, and I want to end up punching people, which is not good for me. When it takes you longer to order your coffee than it takes to drink it because you're coming out with all the rubbish that they come out with, that annoys the life out of me. Man, these got frazzles. Oh, you've got our sympathy. Are you seeing a doctor for it? My Steam Deck's playing up. Yeah, frazzles are good, aren't they? She has 4 kids and had a farm. She handles mainly herself. It sounds like it, doesn't she? Adam's video was nice. All his videos are good. And if anyone's watching, Charcoal Coffee Company. If you're in the UK, they make some fantastic coffees. Well worth checking out. The link is in the description below. I like the style that Adam's got when he makes his videos. There's something quite chilling. Not chilling, chilled, you know what I mean? About watching them. The same as when Laz does his streams and things. Nothing has to be over the top and hectic. It's just nice, relaxed. Everything's bubbling under. I like that. You mentally blocked out all your dad's jokes. Dad jokes. Mine are ingrained in me from the bottom of my feet upwards, and to the point where I go to my way just to annoy the life out of my daughter by coming up with the worst ones I can possibly come up with. I am fairly good at them as well. Well, I am with her. But I enjoy that. Sitting on the sofa taking the piss out of each other. I really do like that. Quality time. You can only make mum jokes. Mum jokes are as good as dad jokes. Every bit. Jokes are jokes, but it's always good when you can have a joke with the people closest to you. Again, same with like me and me dad and my uncle. Oh, having to sit with them two. Just no wonder I ended up the way I did. Crazy. Funny though. You learned a lot about the coffee in the Netherlands in Adam's video. He just seems to do a hell of a lot of research into his videos. I feel really guilty because when I do mine, I just sit in the car or sit in front of it and go, oh, by the way, my arm isn't working. Feel sorry for me. And he puts loads of effort in. I do feel guilty for it. There was a 28-year-old that lived with his 14-year-old girlfriend with her parents. He was insane, yeah. He also came to bang a lot of 70-plus women. Eek. Man. Like Monsieur Gustav H. in the Grand Budapest Hotel. The oldest meat is usually more tasty. Oh, gee, that is still stupidly hot. I might have to make that next time. Let it cool down in a cup and then pour it in when it's at the optimal temperature. Because that way I don't melt me insides. But definitely get one of them if you get an opportunity. They are fantastic. Especially if you spend a lot of your time in cars waiting outside places for people who say they're going to be 5 minutes and turn up half an hour later. Got my daughter this morning and she was 15 minutes late. 15 minutes getting outside the house. And before he even had a chance to say that, I could have stayed in the house for 15 minutes with him. But it's better than half an hour, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose it is. So, it's an improvement. Your dad once told you he had a cramp while in his bedroom and screamed. Granddad stormed in and thought, oh, I thought you were on top of a young maiden. shut the door and left. Cramp's not good at all, definitely not. Do I at least have seat heating? I don't. My car is a 2005 car, which I think whoever bought it cheaped out on a lot of the options. But it's alright, I don't mind. I've got my blanket in there just in case. I will remember that tomorrow though, just in case. Because I think we have to go and pick someone else up as well. So it might be a bit of a drive. Yeah, why did he storm in if he thought that? Maybe he was coming into Rather. Is she like a 9? Hot water bottles. Yeah, my blanket's alright. My big fleece hoodie is ridiculously hot. I've just bought one for me daughter as well. I hope she's not watching this. He's only joking, he went in there because he screamed. You don't want to go in when people have just screamed, mate. Seriously. Definitely not good. Anyway, it's that time, isn't it? Tales from the Crypt with Jeff. Here we go. Got kicked out of the hang gliding club. Apparently having wings is cheating. Terrible. Finished second in an 1893 Grand National race at Aintree. Gutted, mate. He still doesn't look happy in the background, does he? Booted off the America's Cup team for calling the captain a fishy smelling bastard. He's got the cheekbones out again there, hasn't he? Ah, Jeff. Was that worth a dad joke? Wasn't really, was it? Oh well. Buttons. What can I say? Buttons. It must have been a very loud cream. You like Jeff Sears? I think Jeff would be happy with that. I don't think I've really looked at his ears. I know he's been rocking the cheekbones recently, hasn't he? Like he was in the last picture there. Ah, Jeff. Although all women like a bad boy, don't they? So if he's blue-eyed and blue-skinned and bad to the bone, there's just more of him to love. I'll have to check that out. Oh yeah. He's very angular, isn't he? In his normal little picture. Ah, Jeff. Cream free since '83. What a way to be. Sorry, gotta have to open that window a little bit. It's getting too hot. Far too hot. And there seems to be a Formula 1 race going on somewhere outside. One of the main roads. Must be that dickhead in the white BMW who keeps going round roundabouts and drifting it. Dad's father was a laughing and lovely guy. That's always good. I was quite lucky with the same thing. Me granddad was superb. Top fella. He was a docker in Liverpool. Proper old school docker. And to be able to reach that point where I could go for a pint with him in the social club where the family drunk. Brilliant. Loved that. Spent many a very happy evening with me granddad and his old mates. Felt well old. They were in the 60s. So they weren't really old, but to me when I was 18, 19, they were proper old. And they were really because they lived a really hard life. They were all sort of just Second World War kids. And then having to be brought up in the sort of 50s when no one had anything and having to work really hard. But they had some fantastic stories, all dead funny, and a bit of an education for a young whippersnapper like me. So I'm pleased to have spent time with him. In fact, I had my 21st birthday with my granddad. Most people go out on nights out, don't they? Or go to Amsterdam or somewhere. Not me, no. Spent it with my granddad in a South Liverpool social club. You call BMWs and German cars in general a Nazi slang. I have one parked outside, mate. Not a BMW, a Mech. Yeah. That's the unfortunate problem, isn't it? Unfortunately, just age not really around for that long, which is a shame. Big roundabout in front of yours, your mental at it at night. Yeah, that's. You know what? When horsepower beats skill and ability, that's when we're in trouble. And there's too many young lads who've got really powerful cars and they haven't got the experience or the ability to drive them. And they're going around like absolute lunatics. This tit in the white BMW, there's where Tesco's is, in between Tesco and McDonald's, there's a little roundabout where you get from one to the other. 7 o'clock at night, during the summer, and there's kids absolutely everywhere, and he's flying around, drifting around the roundabout, doing donuts and what have you. You absolute prick. All you need to do is lose control slightly, and you're going to end up really, really hurting someone. So, is it worth it? Just for probably sticking it on social media? Knobheads. And obviously I couldn't catch them. Not that I would drive after them and catch them, but would be nice to give one a smack in the mouth, to be honest. Being a concerned father. Yeah, seen a few crash or rolled. And again, whose fault was it? Oh, it must have been the road, or so it's not it's your own fault to be an idiot. A young girl killed a drunk 51-year-old 10 kilometres from there at night a week ago. Horrible. We need to remember these things. Cars. I mean, was it the best part? Mine's about the best part of 2 tons. It's ridiculously big and heavy. And if you're not careful, you can do a lot of damage with them. To people, to property, and then to yourself as well. Just don't drive like a knobhead. I've said before, I think my little maxim is, I'd rather be Mr. Ashcroft who is late than the late Mr. Ashcroft. So I drive that way. 20 miles an hour in Wales now, yep. And has there been any difference? It just appears to be that every other day there's young people dying in cars in Wales at the moment, isn't there? Which obviously has nothing to do with the 20 mile an hour, but it seems to be a really, really bad coincidence. Not good. And if the 20 mile an hour helps things, don't moan about it. Just chill. Put your tunes on, window down, elbow out, and then freeze because it's ridiculously cold. But yeah, just chill. Yeah, 20 mile an hour, Casper, in Wales. They've lowered it to it's not all over Wales, but it's huge amounts of Welsh roads are now 20 miles an hour as the maximum speed, because the difference between getting hit by a car at 20 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour means a good chance of survival. And 40, I think there's been surveys, what am I talking about? There's been research done into it where that difference between 40, 30 and 20 miles an hour, the survival rate just is astronomical compared to the others. Quick emergency, no worries, you never missed anything apart from Jeff's been on, being his normal knobhead self. Everything okay? That's your excuse for driving. You don't want to be in charge of a lethal weapon. Good job you're not male then, isn't it? They're only lethal if you drive it stupidly. Which these kids do. And I've had to warn my daughter about that, about her mates. He's a good driver, he's a good driver. No, they think he is. When something goes wrong and you've only been driving for a few years, you haven't got the experience to deal with it, that's when you really find out you're not a good driver. But then it's too late. Yeah, in built-up areas, it's 20 miles an hour. I told you this on Sunday, didn't I? I watch a YouTube channel called Hubnut, which is all old school cars, and they live in Aberystwyth or near Aberystwyth. And he was driving around the other day and just said this is like 20 mile an hour for this whole section because there's a school on one end and there's something on the other end. But apart from that, they're not all 20. Loads of the roads out in the countryside are just normal 30 miles an hour or above. So it's not as big as people made out. Iceland, right, they can't race by track, so it's for all roads. If a track's built, the national speed limit would apply. Jeez, I didn't know that. So you'd never have an Icelandic Formula 1, because it'd be the shittest race of all time. You have a dip not long from where you grew up and there was always a 40-kilometre limit. When they removed, so now it's the default 80, which is crazy as it goes through a courtyard. They split the farm up. Oh man, on either side of the road. That's stupid. Very, very dangerous. Yeah, the locals worked around this and they race up cliff faces and across water. I have seen that on Top Gear. Freddie Flintoff and Chris Harris went to Iceland to do that racing. With the one where they go around the circuits where it's up and down volcanic ash and things and cliff faces, and then they have to drive straight across the water and hope you don't sink. Yeah, is that even on a private road? Have you a very, very good question now. Is there any such thing as a private road on somewhere like that on Iceland? Iceland went to shit that the rest of the Danish realm, of course. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, as Joni once sang. Right, so there'll be no such thing as a private road, which, I don't know, I suppose if you're in a place like that, if there's a rule, there's a rule. You haven't got 20 odd major cities all saying to you, no, we don't think it's right, we need this and we need that. It's just, alright, yeah, that's what the rule is, that's what the rule is. But I don't think Iceland doesn't have a huge crime sort of thing, does it? Not huge crime stats. It's not crime free, but they do well compared to other places. So I guess what they're doing is probably right, isn't it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You loved Iceland. I would love to go. It's always been one of those places I'd love. It does. The landscapes do look amazing. That land of fire and ice. Everywhere looks like it's directly off a film, which normally it is because they film so much stuff there. Good English speakers, yep. Chocolate cake at every gas station. Now you're talking. You're selling this really well to me. No, I wouldn't mind Scotland as well. There's a photographer that I watch on YouTube as well called Henry Turner, who's doing this thing at the moment for Advent. He's releasing one video every day for the 24 days of Advent. And he did one where he was up in Scotland. I can't remember the name of the place, but on the west coast, really far up west coast. And he was taking pictures of the Northern Lights. Looked amazing. You can't see them with the naked eye as well as you can do through a camera, but he said even with the naked eye you could see them and you just knew that your picture was going to come out looking fantastic. So, showed you what he's took. Oh man, the pictures are absolutely amazing. The last guy that killed someone in Iceland was a fisherman from Greenland. Right, so they're not getting on a snowstorm in August. Iceland is just Greenland light, diet Greenland. Saf, no worries, mate. Up early in the morning. You take care, bud. See you soon. We didn't get to see the aurora because it didn't get dark at all, right? So, next time, make sure you go when it's a little bit later in the year. Go during the winter, at least. That'd be a lovely thing to see. I watched there was a film on, I think it was Netflix, about people surfing under the aurora in Iceland. Obviously you don't really want to be surfing when it's pitch black, but they were out there and you could see taking videos and all as safe as they could be, but it looked amazing, the shots they were getting and the film they were getting. Surfing at night with the aurora behind you, wow. Yeah, tons of northern lights. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, or within the last couple of weeks, there's been lots of activity. It come as far as Liverpool, Crosby Beach. Those people taking pictures of it there, where it's fairly dark. Light pollution, yeah, just everywhere you go in Europe tends to be far too much light pollution. And even where you are, the bright lights or bright nights last from May the 5th to August the 6th. That's still a long time to be with very little darkness. We notice it here, and we're nowhere near as bad as that. Like, so it'll be about 11 o'clock at night, and then 4 in the morning. It's starting to get really dark. You're getting 5 hours of darkness you can deal with. Going somewhere where it's less, or going somewhere like northern Norway or Sweden or somewhere where you're literally just getting months and months where there's no proper darkness. That would absolutely ruin your head, I think. Not good for you at all. Not healthy. Saw him there about 30 years ago. Barnsley, would that coincide with Manchester and going to Hacienda at all? Seeing all these lights. Yeah, you'd have more light pollution free areas. Netherlands looks, from the ISS at least, to be very, very light heavy, if that makes any sense. Jeff has been on, Mandy. But this guy hasn't. If he works. Oh, buttons.
But Kipper's Vindaloo can't be good for you.
Hey. What is going on? Buttons, Jeff, are you
Can't be good for you.
Kippers kicks ass.
Next drops Pan Am jumper after Lockerbie complaints. Retail giant Next has dropped a Pan Am Christmas jumper on its website. Right, you would think Lockerbie residents would have every right to be slightly annoyed at seeing that. Pan Am obviously no longer exists as a company. Pretty much because the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988 resulted in the death of 270 people when it crashed into the town. So you wouldn't be happy with that, would you? To be fair. Kipper says, which grim prick signed off on that? Use your brains.
Kippers kicks ass. Kippers kicks ass. Kippers.
Jeff, stop
kicks
messing.
Ass. Kippers.
Not happy with this. Not happy at all. Jeff's messing around. There was a guy taking pictures of the aurora from Snowdon. Yep, it would look fantastic from there. It went well, yep. Jeff is just being a knobhead tonight. I'm not happy. This is supposed to be a slick, smooth operation. But no, obviously not. Jeff's in a mood. Don't know who's pissed him off. You've complimented his ears, Hadwig. Mandy's complimented his cheekbones and said he looks like he should be on a calendar. And yet he's still doing this. Knobhead. It's a good job there's no one watching on Twitch because they're going to be really confused. What is a Jeff? How is a Jeff? What's he interfering with? Etc. etc. Maybe I pushed too high. I flew too close to the sun, like Icarus. Try and do these good things to try and, break the stream up slightly, and Jeff just is not having any of it whatsoever. Jeff, you're a prick. Coming over here causing kerfuffles. We don't need this shit. An attention-seeking male, how unusual, exactly. He's like a teenage boy as well, isn't he? Hanging round, constantly trying to get someone's attention. He really is. He's bad that way. And you'd think he wouldn't be like a teen male. He's been around for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. Should have grown up by now, but no. Still acts a tit. And we're live. Jeff, we're live, mate. Behave. I check all this beforehand as well to see it's working. And it was working perfectly. And now it ain't, obviously. Jeff is a knob. Well said, Barnsley lad. He is. He's always trying to cause trouble. Trying to get me into all kinds of hassle with kippers and Horace and with the good people at YouTube. It's always his fault, it's not me. If you're watching this back, it's not me, it's him. He did it. He did it and ran away. It wasn't me. Your level stats will be shocking after the stream. They will. But then you leveled up, didn't you, last time? So I think it's going to take a while for you to level up again. But you're still out there in first place, doing well. Miss Andrelicious, yep. Man-hating. You've been relatively quiet, you have. But when needed, you've interjected. And especially when Jeff's up to his tricks, because definitely Jeff is not me. It's not me who's done all this. I'm not the one who's caused problems. Alright, I have pressed buttons, but, the buttons weren't doing what I told them to do. That's Jeff's fault. No, not a man-hater. We know, Mandy. But it's nice to tease anyway. Still too fucking hot. Just very quickly check the football score. Not any of the Champions League, Sunderland against Leeds. Yeah, you're not high maintenance, just low tolerance. That is a t-shirt waiting to happen if it hasn't happened already. Men are delicious. Who can hate Jason Momoa or Chris Hemsworth? Can't, he's an old one though. Do you know what? You can have that one, Mandy, for that. You love men, just can't eat the whole one. Just pretend it didn't say dad joke, but, you know, that was for you, that one. There you go. Thorntons, that's pretty high maintenance. Yep, it is. But we're worth it. That's not the one, is it? Thorntons, we're worth it. I'm surprised that worked at that point. Jeff must have agreed. We'll see what happens when Horace pops up in a minute to see if Jess has started acting responsibly or not. In fact, yeah. May as well check Horace now, you know what I mean? Horace's haikus. I need some money. My car seats need Scotch Garden. I'm dogging tonight. Hoo-yah! Horace, I need to have a word with you. Stop hanging round with Jeff. He's corrupting you. Get back to your jazz. Thorntons aren't that expensive. They're not, but, you know, they haven't got the glamour, have they, of milk tray or Terry's all gold. You don't hate Eva Green or Scarlett Johansson. Yep. Horace, exactly. He's just starting to let himself down, isn't he? To be honest with you. I always thought he was better than that. But this is what happens with Red Dwarf proved this. This is what happens when you put 3 boys together without any female without any female intervention. Just 3 of them and a male computer. It's the same with these 3. That was lost in translation. How do we? Did he not have a dogging in Netherlands? Compared to Black Magic, they are. Yep. That's a good question. Is dogging a particularly UK thing? Is it? Nowhere else. Parking up somewhere at night to get up to noughties with other people watching and joining in. Dogging for you, man. Never found Scarlett Johansson attractive. Casper, man, she's absolutely stunning. I also like the fact that she plays a lot of very sort of kooky characters in films, same as Johnny Depp did. Never just a straightforward, you're good looking, you're this. Always a little bit of an edge to the character. How do we? Yeah, is that from dogging, is it? Seems to be a very English pastime, yep. There's car parks all over the UK, hidden in places where people don't normally go to overnight, and people tend to go up there and get up to the jollies. There's a footballer, Stan Collymore, who used to play for Liverpool and Aston Villa, who ended up getting caught doing it as well, out in the open. And he did a programme about it on Channel 4 or Channel 5, but he went into the details of what people do, which was just seeing a Premier League footballer talking about what they do. What on earth is happening here? Apparently, if you've got the lights on inside the car, it means people are allowed to watch. If the windows are down, they're allowed to put their hands in and get involved and stuff. If the door's open, anything goes. It's like, Stan, I don't need to know all this, mate. Tell us about that goal you scored. No, not that one. Different one. Tried the forest once. Pine cones. Yeah, that. I don't think there'd be any situation in which pine cones and the human anatomy would be best friends. So, yeah, avoid that one, I think. Yeah, Barnsley, I'm sick of it as well. I had to block it on WhatsApp. Scarlett, you drew me head in, girl. Wind your neck in, la. Casper, you never heard that happen there, and you keep up with the news. I like that little bit in there. I would have known about it. I keep up with the news. It's a very specific thing, and it does sound like a very specifically British thing, but yeah. You know what we're like, we're really repressed. So if you can go to a car park miles away from anywhere, in the middle of the woods, in the dark, and then let your inhibitions free, I suppose that's what people do. And that's where they find their thrill. Not on Blueberry Hill, but normally in, yeah. I think it come from dog watch, didn't it, originally? People talk about taking the dog out for a walk, and then where you've been 2 hours, or the dog was really in the mood for a walk, and then you've been doing something else. It used to be very prevalent on Ainsdale, apparently near the sand dunes. So I'm led to believe. One of the fellas who come in the pub, an old postman, said, you want to see stuff they get up to right there? Disgusting. So I had to leave after a couple of hours. You talk to people and they tend to use bedrooms from what you've heard over the years. That is the usual recourse, isn't it? Unless you're in Italy, where they tend to be using Fiat 500s. I think that was on a programme as well. If you go around Italy at any time, sort of the early evenings onwards, you'll see cars parked up with the windows with newspaper in them, so you can't see in, and everyone just gets up to the noughties there. Pine cones, autocorrect never autocorrects when you need it to. No, it leaves that stuff out, doesn't it? And then, stupid. Yeah, in Nederland you don't need to keep the car lights on, just leave the curtains open. That will do the trick as well. I know there's a couple of lads who worked in our pub actually. They used to do a bit of work for people as well. So they were working in Cheshire, in this really sort of richish place, lots of stockbrokers and things, ripping a house out and sorting it out for the new people that were going to turn up. And they noticed there was a certain plant in everyone's front window. I said, well, what's that for? And one of the fellas went, it's a bit of a sign round here. If you got that plant in your window, you're into wife swapping. All right, yeah. So, because the couple were a bit horrible to them, never used to make them a cup of tea or anything, always used to make sure they were there till 5 o'clock on the dot. These pair of bastards, when they were leaving, they went, we bought you a housewarming gift, and bought them the same plant as everyone else. So everyone on the road thought they were into wife swapping. So we'll leave you with that. Go on, ta-ra. Yeah, Casper, we're here to teach you lessons, man. This is all about an exchange of cultural ideas. Don't Google it though, because you'll see there's some exceptionally dodgy practices that go on. And I don't want to Google it either, because I don't want to know if there's a place nearby. 'Cause I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night knowing that kind of malarkey was going on. Filthmongers. We are weird like that though. Yeah, it's down south. Apparently, I've heard that plenty of times. I've got a mate who lives in Essex who says she can't drive down a certain road overnight without having to be very careful at the kind of shit that she sees. Yeah, that was it. Had a week thinking, oh, that's a lovely plant. No, weren't they nice lads? We should have been a bit nicer to them. Looked after them, made them cups of tea, let them leave early on a Friday so they can go for a pint. Oh, they were dead nice. Look, they bought us a plant. Then all of a sudden, bang, 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 followed by bang, bang, bang. You want the car break down at night? Make sure you don't break down in Epping Forest, outside London, apparently. Just saying. In fact, my friend gave me a lift one night and went, "There, that's the dog in place." All right. I didn't want to see that. Take us to, the Shard or something like that. I'd rather go and see that. The amount of foxes we have seems crazy. It does. There's a lovely picture. Hopefully I'll be able to find it. It was on one of the Liverpool Instagram channels of an archway looking out to the Liver buildings. There's just two foxes sat there looking up. Gorgeous picture. Yeah, Thornton Shops. You slept in the... right, so if you think about that, the meeting place for men looking after each other, and then just think it's men and women, then it'll be a similar kind of thing, I would have thought. A safe place for everyone to go and get up to what they get up to. Felt the safest ever. They will look after you. Definitely look after you. I would have bleeding now if we got onto this. Sorry, it was me, wasn't it? Mine's in the gutter, obviously. Funny enough, that's what Sean Locke said, didn't he, about he didn't join the AA or the RAC for roadside assistance. Join Grinder, and whenever you've got a flat tyre or need a push, just put yourself out on location there, so that all of a sudden there'll be loads of them coming out of the bushes and give you the push. They're good. Funny that, man. Western Australia has the same population as Manchester, but is 13 times the size of Britain. Yep. It is stupid how big Australia is and how few people live there in terms of comparative size. 95% live near the coast, or something like that anyway. They are just a little sliver on the outskirts. And like I said before, if you get the moon like that, always gone out, I mustn't charge them up. Do that and push it onto Australia. You'd still be able to see the west and east coasts because it's bigger than the moon, wider than the moon, man. Australia's a mad place. Yeah, if you give a woman Thorntons, next thing she'll be expecting Ferrero Rocher, and you really would be spoiling her. Why is Ferrero Rocher so bloody expensive? Are we missing a trick? Is the stuff that it comes in the foil is actually gold? If we melt that down, do we get our money back? Mad thing, fam. Mad thing. You need to watch Bill Bailey's latest episode. You do. Get on it like Wallace and Gromit. Our Bill. Good lad is our Bill. We like him. Ooh, hang on. That phone is about to sheet the bed by the look of it. Now, you like Ferrero Rocher too, and you don't make ambassador money. Barnsley, none of us do. Can't be going round throwing that stuff around like confetti. Does anywhere else have Ferrero Rocher? Or is that yet another thing that's just like Haagen-Dazs? Everyone thought it was some kind of Swiss ice cream, and it's not. They just give it that name to make it sound exotic and European, and it's made by two fellas in a shed in California or something mad. Sweden's 9 times the size of Denmark, and of Denmark proper, yep, and only has 1.7 times the population of Denmark. Yeah, but Sweden's another mad place. I've got friends in Sweden. There, people live in little places, and then there's just nothing for hundreds and thousands of miles. Some of them have got places out in the country and it takes them 7 or 8 hours to get there, and there's nobody in between. Literally nobody, just, you know, fucking moose running around like lunatics. You've got it over there in Netherlands, good. Not just us. Not the bad out there, average. Yeah. One of those things, when we had German beers coming to the UK, and people would stop drinking English shite beer and wanted German stuff, all of a sudden there was a beer called Grünhalle with the little umlauts on it and everything, and everyone went, oh, that Grünhalle, import beer. And it wasn't. There's a brewery near Warrington called Greenhalls, which is a proper old man's brewery, and Grünhalle, of course, is just German for Greenhalls. When he found out it was made in Warrington, and everyone went apeshit over it. Ferrero Rocher, it's made by Stork. Is that the butter people? Crazy. Wouldn't mind a bit of Ferrero Rocher tonight. I haven't got any. I don't think I've got any Kinder Bueno either. But I've got Cadbury's Fruit and Nut, a bar of Cadbury's Fruit and Nut, which I might have with my red vino, my non-alcoholic red wine. Still haven't fallen off the wagon, not yet. Majority of European chocolate is made in Germany, followed by the Netherlands. Did not know that. Although I did have a mate who come in the pub who swore that the best chocolate in the world was not Swiss or Belgian, it was Mexican. Always said the Mexican chocolate. Those in the know, and he tapped his nose when he said it. People will tell you it's Belgian or Swiss, but those in the know will tell you Mexican. Alright, fair enough. And then when I spoke to people in Cuba about where they got most of their stuff from, they got the Coca-Cola from Mexico, which is the original recipe, which is now like gold dust. The Americans are trying to buy it back, but they're not allowed to import it. So all the Cubans are buying it, and they love it. Everyone just thinks Belgian and Swiss. Yep, they do. That's because big chocolate is trying to make you conform, and we know it's not. Your local brewery, Casper, has been in Hardersliff since it was founded. They moved the company south of the border to Germany. It's a great anguish of the locals. Yep. Man, these are crunchies and frazzles. You sound like you're in pain tonight. Your favourite chocolate is Tony's Chocolonely. I have never tasted that, and yet we do have it in the Tesco by us. I'm going to have to try that, aren't I? Because I walk past it all the time, and I'm always just amazed by what it looks like. It looks like Willy Wonka stuff. Marabou is Swedish and they make some good chocolate. Fair enough. We did used to make fantastic chocolate over here as well, but we got bought out. Cadbury got bought out by the Kraft, the big US plastic cheese maker, and then it's gone downhill, which is a shame because when British chocolate or sweets get given to people from around the world, they tend to find it absolutely amazing. You grew up 5 kilometres from the Bavaria factory, right? Yep, I said it was going to collapse on me, didn't I? And it did. Despite the fact that that is a wireless charger. Useless heap of shite. Never been to the Cadbury World either myself. There's loads of places in this country I've never been to. Cadbury World, you'd think we'd be one of them where everyone would want to take the kids, wouldn't you? Never been near or Alton Towers. Strange. It's still there. Right? That's surprising, given that nowadays so many places just, money-wise, you know, we're moving somewhere else because it suits us better. Same as fucking Dyson at Knobhead. Put loads of money in to try and get Brexit happening because he thought it'd be better for the country, and then moved all his manufacturing to Singapore and pays himself dividends so he can't get taxed on it. Twat. Doggies are still sleeping. You're going to take Advin out in a bit? Yep. We always know when it's dog pee time, it's almost time for me to go and get my feet up on the sofa. And see how things have happened in the football. Oh, they've all finished now, haven't they? Ah, well. And I've got to pick Jess up in the morning and her mate because they're both going into college early. It seems to be some kind of exam week. So they're actually going in early for a change. Although the cheeky bastard, I rang her this morning, as I always do, before I leave the house to make sure she's awake. And she buttoned me. The cheeky sod. And rang me back and went, sorry about that. I thought you were my normal alarm, so I turned you off. Can't do that with your dad. Little shit. You've got Backen, the oldest amusement park. They have a Santa rally each year. The park was 1583. That is crazy. You put Earth on a terrace so Lego doesn't have to go down the steps and can lean against the garden table when he needs to pee. That is fantastic. Very, very good thinking. Deserves it, young Lego there. You spend half your day queuing up at Alton Towers. Yeah, well, again, never been, so that's not selling it to me, to be honest. I don't think I'd rather... I'm shit scared of heights, so I don't think I'll be doing roller coasters, even though I'll quite happily get on a plane. I'm scared of heights, I'm not scared of planes. I wouldn't get on a stepladder on a plane, but I'd sit in a chair on a plane. 1583 is an amusement park. The Danish were very progressive. They were indeed. Actually, I think we Brits tend to get a lot of respect for stuff that's happened in the past and how great we were at inventing things, but what you all need to do is look at the place. Like Denmark doesn't normally get anywhere near as much coverage for what they did, but look all around Europe, the stuff that was happening. As a continent, we were absolutely insane, and I think some of the countries that don't get the credit they deserve should be getting it. And that 1583 amusement park, that is absolutely amazing, fantastic stuff. If that was in the UK, that would be on its second coat of paint by now. Most Danes were still bound to the place where they were born, not to work for the master up until the year 1800. 99% of your family were, right? The world's changed now, hasn't it? You would say for the better, but when you look at some of the things, you think, well, no. I mean, obviously you don't want to work for masters all your life, but it's so easy now for people just to go, you know what, I've had enough, I'm going to move to Singapore, and off they go. You can't keep an eye on them, you can't help them out. They can't nip around for a cup of sugar, they can't come around and get their washing done. So it's not all fantastic. But yeah, Europe, hugely progressive, and we seem to be going backwards these days. Everyone's trying to close borders, trying to say that science doesn't work. It's cray-cray, and not in a good way. That you couldn't leave the master's land. You were verboten. Eingang verboten. Not allowed. Can't be doing that, man. Need to get rid of all that as well. Landowners. Fucking landowners. How do you own the land? How do you own the rain, the sun? The Germans won. Well, fair play to them. They're a good team buying. Although they got hammered, didn't they, at the weekend? So I wonder if Ten Hag will be there over the next couple of days. Socialism was a major contributor to human rights and workers' rights. Yep. And yet they're trying to get rid of it because obviously workers' rights and human rights don't fit in with making money. Capitalism is just ruining people's lives to make as much money as you possibly can. Free tooting. I never got around to that, did I? I was trying to get a Wolfie Smith every time I said something slightly left wing. I was trying to push a button and Jeff would decide what the bleeding hell appeared on the screen because that's the kind of tit he's been today. Now we're not booing the Germans winning because they beat Man United. So you normally find a lot of people in England especially don't like United. So I've got no problem with them at all, especially given the fact that they overtook Liverpool with the amount of titles won, so it shut them up a little bit. Not much, obviously. Fucking Norwegians coming over here. Ten Hag just got applauded by the United fans. All right. Is that like well done, unlucky, or you had your go? Bye bye. We'll see you next time. You had the right government for decades, the morons. Yep. Same over here. And they're still trying to blame all the world's ills on the left wingers, despite the fact that they're the ones who've been in charge. They can't be trusted with the economy. You trash the economy. They borrow money. You've borrowed more money in this last 13 years than every Labour government in history combined. You can only trust us with the money. Yeah. And then you give it to your mates. And that's why there's been hundreds and billions of pounds worth of PPE shite gone down the drain. Disgraceful behaviour. When your grandmother was younger, parents could still only socialise with people on a father's status, depending on his job. So if you got a promotion, you enter another social circle. That is mad. That's not like great grandparents. That's just grandparents. Bloody hell. 2 generations and it was... Man. We have moved on so much. Yeah, the United fans know it doesn't matter who the manager is, the players are shite. They've got some really good players, but there's no character at all. Something that I think we've learned at Everton is that for a while we had some good players and the dressing room was full of people who have not the best character. And now all of a sudden, all the people that are in there are fighters and grafters. United don't seem to have that. They don't have any leaders on the pitch. If you're looking to Harry Maguire to be a leader, your club is in deep shit. Not late 40s and 50s. That's mad. My parents were born in the early 50s. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you wish your father wasn't allowed to study at university based on being a farmer's son? Jeez, that's just mad. And your mum had to leave school at 13 to help on the farm. Yeah. If you were born one generation earlier, that would have been you. You'd have missed the stream, you'd have been in bed already. Or you'd catch the end of it just as you were getting up to milk the chickens. That's mad, isn't it? That difference in one generation. Yeah. Hey now, Steve. Now then, hey. Nah, right though, innit? United, for all the money they've spent and for the players they have got, nowhere near where they should be. Same as Chelsea. Spent £1 billion on players and they've got no heart whatsoever. You can't be coming to Goodison and getting beat. Let's face it. Well, you can. Thank you for the 3 points, Chelsea. Mucho apreciado, as they say in Belgium. That is mad. Absolutely mad the way things have changed, and not even in that long ago, like you say, just one generation passed and the world was completely different for them. My niece was talking in the car last week. She reckons she was born in the wrong era. Normally, if someone says that to you, it's like, oh, I should have been born in the swinging 60s, listening to the Beatles and the Stones and things. No, she reckons she'd have been better off in the 1800s. Why? She likes all that stuff, but she feels it'd be more suitable for her. Downton Abbey? Nah, I don't think so, girl. Neither was your grandfather. Yeah, that's crazy, that, Casper. Your mum wasn't allowed to keep a job as a cleaner when she got married. Nor was she allowed to have a bank account in her name. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where within the last couple of generations, women have got the vote and can open bank accounts. That was up until the 70s and things, wasn't it? A man should be in charge. No. Then I went to school every other day in summer so they could help a hoeman on the farms. That's when you know you've grown up into a family that take that kind of stuff seriously. Yeah, when young players are on contracts earning 200 grand a week for 8 years, it must be hard to motivate yourself. It's, again, talking to people in the not too distant past. People that used to own football clubs were local millionaires. Now, the people who are playing for the clubs are on more money and earn or worth more money than the people who owned the clubs 15, 20 years ago. It's just mad. How do you motivate someone? For 18-year-old kids driving Bentleys, you've got to turn up at 8 o'clock in the morning. What happened? I'm sorry, I was up playing on my PlayStation till 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, we're going to fine you a week's wages. That's alright. Another 51 weeks in a year, mate. Idiots. My dad was on 18 or 20 quid a week when he got a pay rise. 18 quid during the summer, and he had to go and get a job during the close season just to make ends meet. Mad thing, fam. The 1800s, yeah. Working 18 hours a day in the brick factory from age 5. Terrible. Barnesy, you'd feel more at home in Victorian times. Drinking flagons of foaming ale. You're not a big fan of polio and leprosy. Yeah. Bad teeth and rickets. Man, Victorian times. The workhouse, the poorhouse, would have been horrible. But that was the era that my niece said she'd feel more happy in. So, you know, you never know. It might suit. Anyway, bloody hell. Still going. We have to start sorting this out because I need to go and do some shizzle. It has been fantastic as always. How we've managed to get in chocolate, Victorian workhouses, dogging, and Stan Collymore is beyond me, but there we go. And Jeff being an absolute bell. Arvin woke up. See, they knew it was time, and how did he just level up to level 15 as well? Must have known it was time. It was pee time. Because I think I feel the same way myself. Maybe why I've been wriggling my seat for the last 5 minutes. So, I have to say thank you very much, and
that's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
that's that.